Just tell me, I mean, you were in the family business. I mean, you were in your early 20s. What is it that triggered you to, start getting into real estate investing?
Man, so it's my family business I was a part of was a car dealership. And so at a young age I started kind of was thrown in there to learn how to sell cars. And if any of you guys have been on the in the car business or have bought a car or anything, you know that at one point you sit down in front of the salesperson and you get a piece of paper, right? The salesperson gets a piece of paper and you start filling out a credit application. So after doing that over and over, I realized that the people that were buying the Mercedes, that were buying the BMW, that were buying the nice car, most of them had real estate. When I'd ask them, "Hey, what do you do for a living? How much money do you make?" For the credit application, and most people who were buying the nice cars kept saying real estate, real estate, real estate. So after doing that for a while, I'm like, light bulbs kept coming off, and I'm like, all right, at this point, I think I know what I got to be doing. And you see TV, you see the YouTube and stuff, you see how people do well with real estate, or you know, and after seeing it and like writing it from these people buying these fancy cars and stuff, I'm like, you know what? Let me figure this thing out. And that's really what triggered me. Honestly, it was that simple. I just knew that there was an avenue there that can, accelerate my financial goals and accelerate my wealth building and freedom and all that stuff.
Well, it's interesting, Raul. As I mentioned a moment ago, I mean, you started out your very first deal, you got cash, $61,000 on your first deal. You didn't have an established network. Sounds like you hadn't gone to any formal training. Tell us the story about that first deal and why is it that you go into that first deal without really no support behind you?
Yeah. Honestly, I just had no choice. Like I wanted to get in and I just knew this is what I wanted. Like I was already to the point that I was convinced. I convinced myself that real estate was something I need to do. So that deal just came by through like a family member. Like, hey, there's this person selling these 3 condos. And they said, like, we're gonna buy 2, but there's one left. And from working since I was 16 and stuff, I had saved up about $40,000. So I had saved up quite a bit because I was making good money and I was living with my mom and stuff. So I didn't really have my expenses. I just realized, okay, I'm like, it's $61,000 and it's rented for $800. It was a condo. I'm like, okay, like the math makes sense. So I just bought it. I really didn't think much. I had to borrow the extra 21,000 plus closing costs, and I borrowed it for 15% interest just to complete the deal. And that's how I got in. And once I bought it and I collected that first rent check, 30 days later, I was hooked. I was like, this is it.
So that first property that you did, was your intention to buy and hold that property and just rent it out?
Yeah, that's right, Jay. I always wanted to buy and hold that specific property, just because it was rented already. It was in a good area of town here, so I'm like, this one is just going to be a rental. And as I started digging more into real estate, the best things that came up on my mind was passive income, rental income, etc. And although you later figure on that rentals are not as passive as you think. However, that's for another story. But then I realized I want to do rentals, so that was always the intention. Yeah, just kind of jumped in.